The massive holographic display aboard the Terran Defense Command Station pulsed with urgent warnings. Admiral Thera Novak stood before it, her weathered face illuminated by the crimson alerts that danced across the screen. After 5 centuries of silence, humanity's deep space sensors had detected something approaching Earth. Something massive. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of 20 years of military service. The command center buzzed with activity as officers rushed to compile data from the sensor network that humanity had carefully maintained even after their supposed extinction. Lieutenant Marcus Rivera's fingers flew across his console. "Multiple vessels. Admiral, they're using some kind of cloaking technology, but our quantum sensors are picking up their weak signatures. Based on their formation and approach vector, this is no exploration fleet. It's an invasion force." Thera allowed herself a slight smile. For centuries, humanity had maintained the illusion of their extinction, letting the galaxy believe they had destroyed themselves in some ancient war. In reality, they had gone underground, building, preparing, and waiting for the day their enemies would return. The alien fleet, led by the formidable Kryvax, supreme commander of the Nexian Empire, approached Earth with supreme confidence. Their intelligence suggested they would find nothing but ruins and perhaps some primitive descendants of the once great human civilization. Instead, they were sailing straight into humanity's trap. "How long until they're in range?" Thera asked, studying the tactical display that showed the approaching fleet's position. 17 minutes, Admiral," Rivera responded, his dark eyes fixed on his screens. "They're maintaining their current speed and heading. They suspect nothing." Thera opened a secure channel to all Earth defense stations. "This is Admiral Novak. Operation Phoenix is now active. All stations, prepare to execute on my mark." Across the planet and throughout the solar system, hidden installations hummed to life. Massive doors opened in the sides of mountains, revealing artillery batteries that had waited patiently for centuries. Orbital platforms shed their camouflage, weapon systems powering up for the first time in generations. Aboard his flagship, Kryvax studied the approaching planet with disdain. His massive frame, covered in iridescent scales, shifted in his command chair as he reviewed the sensor data. "Such a waste," he growled to his second-in-command, Vex. "To think this species once challenged us for dominion of the galaxy. Now look at them, extinct by their own hand." "My lord," Vex interrupted, his cranial ridges pulsing with concern. "Our forward scouts are reporting unusual energy readings from the planet's surface." Before Kryvax could respond, the void of space lit up with thousands of points of light. Thera's voice rang through the command center. "All units, execute Operation Phoenix. Show them humanity never left." The trap was sprung. Quantum torpedoes launched from hidden silos on Mars struck the Nexian fleet's rear guard. Graviton beams from Europa's ice caves reached out to hold enemy ships in place. And from Earth itself, a massive counterfleet rose from the oceans, ships that had waited in suspended animation for this very moment. Kryvax's flagship rocked with impacts as the human weapons found their mark. "Impossible," he roared, watching as his carefully planned invasion turned into chaos. "They were supposed to be dead." Thera's voice cut through all enemy communication channels. "You thought we were extinct. Instead, you found an unstoppable fleet. Humanity never died. We were preparing. This is our home, and you are not welcome here." The battle raged across the solar system. Human ships, piloted by crews who had trained their entire lives for this moment, executed maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. The Nexian fleet, despite their superior numbers, found themselves caught in a perfectly orchestrated trap centuries in the making. Lieutenant Rivera tracked the battle's progress, calling out updates as humanity's plan unfolded. "Admiral, the enemy fleet is attempting to regroup near Venus. Their formations are breaking down." "Press the advantage," Thera commanded. "Launch the Lazarus squadrons. Let's show them what humanity has learned in our absence." Across the battlefield, specialized fighter squadrons emerged from hidden bases on asteroids and moons. These were humanity's elite, pilots neurally linked to their ships, their reflexes and response times beyond what any organic being could achieve alone. As the battle turned decisively in humanity's favor, Kryvax realized the magnitude of his error. They hadn't found a dead civilization. They had awakened a sleeping giant. The humans hadn't spent the last 5 centuries in decline. They had been evolving, preparing, and waiting for this very moment. Thera watched with grim satisfaction as the enemy fleet began to retreat. "Send the message," she ordered. "Let everyone in the galaxy know. Earth is not dead. Humanity is not extinct. And we are ready for anyone who thinks otherwise." The first battle was over, but Thera knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had revealed itself, and the galaxy would never be the same. As she looked out at the stars through the command center's viewport, she couldn't help but wonder what challenges awaited them in the coming days. But one thing was certain: humanity was ready to reclaim its place among the stars. Dr. Rena Patel stood before the massive quantum forge deep within Earth's Himalayan complex. The defeat of Kryvax's initial assault had bought them time, but she knew the Nexian Empire wouldn't stop with one failed invasion. Her life's work was about to face its ultimate test. "Initialize the Prometheus Protocol," she commanded. The underground facility hummed with energy as machines that had been theoretical impossibilities centuries ago came to life. Around her, teams of scientists and engineers monitored streams of data flowing across their holographic displays. Her assistant, Dr. Marcus Chen, approached with urgent news. "The Nexian reinforcements are gathering at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Our deep space arrays are picking up at least 3 times the number of ships from the first wave." Rena nodded, her attention fixed on the forge's central chamber, where particles of dark matter swirled in controlled chaos. "They'll find us better prepared this time. How's the integration testing on the new defense grid?" 97% complete, Marcus replied. "The neural networks are adapting faster than expected. It's as if they're eager to protect us." In the depths of space, aboard the Nexian command carrier, alien strategist Myrith reviewed the battle recordings from their first defeat. Her elongated fingers traced patterns in the holographic display as she analyzed human battle tactics. Unlike her more aggressive colleagues, she saw beyond the obvious. "They didn't just hide," she murmured to herself. "They evolved. Their technology isn't just advanced, it's taken paths we never considered." Her quarters were filled with data streams showing human defense patterns, weapon signatures, and energy readings that defied conventional physics. Back on Earth, Rena's team initiated the final phase of their secret weapon. The quantum forge's core pulsed with blinding light as it assembled matter at the subatomic level, creating materials that couldn't exist under normal physical laws. "Begin synchronization with the orbital platforms," Rena ordered. Above Earth, a network of satellites imperceptible to standard scanners oriented themselves, forming a geometric pattern that encompassed the planet. Myrith's warnings to the Nexian High Command fell on deaf ears. "You don't understand," she insisted to her superior officers. Their defensive capabilities in the first battle were a fraction of their true potential. "We need to reconsider our approach." The Nexian Admiral, Zorax, dismissed her concerns with a wave of his armored appendage. "Numbers will overwhelm any defense. We will darken their skies with our ships." As the second Nexian fleet approached, Rena's network hummed to life. The Quantum Forge's creation merged with Earth's defense grid, forming something unprecedented, a planetary shield that didn't just block attacks but learned from them. The battle that followed would reshape the understanding of warfare itself. When the Nexian fleet opened fire, their energy weapons were not just absorbed but redirected, their own power turned against them. Each attack made Earth's defenses stronger, more adaptive. Myrith watched in fascination as her predictions proved correct. "They've weaponized evolution itself," she breathed, watching as human defenses adapted in real time to each Nexian strategy. Captain James Chen guided his ship, the TSS Hyperion, through the debris field that had once been the second Nexian invasion fleet. His vessel's quantum sensors probed the wreckage, searching for survivors and gathering intelligence. In the ship's diplomatic quarter, alien diplomat Zenthar meditated in his chambers. Unlike his Nexian cousins, he represented a faction that had long advocated for peaceful contact with humanity. The recent battles had proven his warnings prophetic. "Captain," his XO's voice came through the comm. "We're picking up a signal. It's different from anything we've seen before." James leaned forward in his command chair. "Source: the edge of the Oort cloud. It's not Nexian. The signature suggests it's from the Ancestral Fleet." The Ancestral Fleet was legend, a group of human ships that had left Earth before the false extinction, carrying with them seeds of human civilization. They had disappeared into deep space, their fate unknown for centuries. Zenthar entered the bridge, his crystalline form catching the light. "They've returned because they sensed the danger." The wheel of time turns full circle. The signal grew stronger, resolving into a clear message. "To Earth Command. The Wanderers return. The stars have shown us what comes next. We carry the key to humanity's next evolution." James shared a look with Zenthar. Both knew this changed everything. The returning fleet didn't just bring ships and weapons. They brought knowledge gathered from the far reaches of space, secrets that could tip the balance in humanity's favor. As the Hyperion moved to rendezvous with the approaching fleet, James couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to cross a threshold. Humanity hadn't just survived in hiding. Different branches of their species had evolved along different paths, and now they were reuniting. The first ships of the Ancestral Fleet emerged from their faster-than-light bubbles, their designs unlike anything Earth's forces had ever seen. They seemed to bend space around them, their hulls incorporating technologies that defied conventional understanding. Zenthar's crystalline form pulsed with excitement. "Your people never ceased to grow, to evolve. While some hid beneath Earth's surface, others ventured into the unknown. Now both paths converge." The arrival of the Ancestral Fleet marked more than just reinforcements. It represented the reunion of humanity's divided children. Those who had hidden and prepared on Earth would join with those who had sought answers among the stars. As James watched the ships approach, he knew they were witnessing the dawn of a new era. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. They were about to remind the galaxy why they had once been feared and respected. The legacy of their species was about to be rewritten, and the void itself would bear witness to their renaissance. Commander Diana Ross stood at the heart of Jupiter Station, watching as the combined fleets of Earth and the Ancestral Fleet conducted joint training exercises. The massive observation deck provided a perfect view of the gas giants' swirling storms, now dotted with thousands of ships preparing for the inevitable Nexian counterattack. "The neural integration is proceeding faster than expected," reported Dr. Naxos, the alien scientist who had defected from the Nexian Empire years ago. His translucent skin rippled with bioluminescent patterns as he reviewed the data. "The Earth Fleet's adaptive technology meshes perfectly with the Ancestral Fleet's spatial manipulation systems." Diana nodded, her cybernetic eye scanning the tactical readouts floating in her field of vision. "And the Jupiter defense platform. Online and synchronized," Naxos confirmed. "When activated, it will transform Jupiter's magnetosphere into the largest weapons platform ever created." The station shuddered as another wave of ships emerged from hyperspace. These weren't military vessels. They were the hidden colonies, returning from the outer edges of the solar system. For centuries, humanity had maintained secret outposts throughout their home system, each developing unique technologies and adaptations. Deep within the station, engineers worked to integrate technologies that had evolved along different paths. Earth's quantum adaptive systems merged with the Ancestral Fleet's space-folding drives, while the colonial innovations in biomechanical integration provided the interface to control it all. "Incoming transmission from the Nexian border," announced Lieutenant Hayes from her communications station. "The enemy fleet. It's larger than anything we've ever seen. They're pulling forces from across their empire. Diana exchanged looks with Naxos. They're committing everything. No more probing attacks. They fear you now, Naxos said softly. Not just your weapons, but your potential. Every defeat has made humanity stronger. They can't allow that to continue. The next hours were a blur of activity as the combined human forces prepared for battle. Ships moved into formation, crews ran final checks, and the massive Jupiter defense platform hummed with building power. Fleet Marshal Viktor Petrov watched from his flagship as the largest space battle in human history began. The Nexian Armada, led by their sovereign Daxon himself, dropped out of hyperspace in waves that seemed to darken the very stars. All forces, execute Battle Plan Omega, Victor commanded, his voice carrying to every human ship and installation. Remember your training. Remember Earth. The battle erupted across the solar system. Near Mercury, Earth's quantum-adaptive ships engaged the Nexian front lines, their weapons becoming more effective with each exchange. Around Mars, the ancestral fleet's vessels phased in and out of normal space, striking from impossible angles. Daxon's flagship, a behemoth that dwarfed even the largest human vessels, pushed toward Earth. Your evolution ends today. His transmission boomed across all frequencies. The natural order must be preserved. Victor's response was calm but resolute. The natural order is change. Humanity proves that with every breath. As the battle raged, Diana Ross and Naxos activated the Jupiter defense platform. The gas giant's massive magnetosphere began to pulse with energy, transforming the planet's natural forces into a weapon of unprecedented power. The Nexian fleet found itself caught in a trap centuries in the making. Earth's forces had positioned themselves precisely, herding the enemy armada into optimal position. When Jupiter's weaponized magnetosphere activated, thousands of Nexian ships found their systems overloaded, their advanced technology turned against them. Now, Victor commanded, all forces execute final phase. In perfect synchronization, every human ship activated their new hybrid drives. Space itself seemed to bend as technologies from Earth, the ancestral fleet, and the colonies worked in concert. The Nexian fleet found themselves trapped in a pocket of distorted spacetime, their superior numbers meaning nothing in a battlefield where conventional physics no longer applied. Daxon watched in horror as his mighty armada was systematically dismantled by forces he couldn't comprehend. "What have you become?" he transmitted to Victor. "We've become what we were always meant to be," Victor replied. "Not just survivors, but evolutionaries. Each challenge makes us stronger. Each battle teaches us more. We don't just adapt, we transform." The battle's outcome was decisive. The Nexian Empire's military might, built over millennia, broke against humanity's combined strength. As the last enemy ships retreated or surrendered, Victor opened a channel to all forces. Today marks not just a victory, but a beginning. Humanity stands united. Those who hid, those who wandered, and those who evolved. We have proven that our greatest strength lies not in our weapons or our technology, but in our ability to change, to grow, to become more than we were. As the dust settled, Diana and Naxos watched from Jupiter Station as the combined human fleet regrouped. Ships of various designs, each representing a different path of human evolution, moved in harmony. "What comes next?" Naxos asked, his skin patterns shifting thoughtfully. Diana smiled. "We explore, we learn, we grow. But this time, we do it together." The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if acknowledging humanity's emergence as a transformed species. They had not just survived extinction. They had transcended it, proving that adaptation and unity were the true measures of civilization's strength. The story of humanity's resurgence would echo through the galaxy for generations to come, a testament to the power of evolution, unity, and the indomitable spirit of a species that refused to fade into history.